Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we have a bit of an omnibus type video. This is all filmed in the same day, but if you haven't been around for a little bit on my channel or you're new here, hello, welcome first of all. I have been really delayed in getting through some of my stats types of wrap-ups. I had to give up doing some videos recently due to my mum's health, and whilst that's still a problem, I had enough time to thankfully sit down and catch things up in my journal. And of course, since I always film this normally, I decided that I would take the time to film it now. So you can see that I have just gone and stuck in the covers for August in my reading log. I'm also adding those covers on to the stats page for that portion of the month. So these were my favorite read and least favorite read of the month. And we're going to do the same thing for September, though we're going to do the full stats page together. I had a really slow month reading over September. It didn't feel that way to me. I felt like I was reading a lot, like as in quantity of days, not so much probably the quantity of pages. And that is probably why I only ended up reading 8 books in the month of September. It is my lowest book quantity month. Let's try and say the word quantity so many times and I'm a little bit fumbly with it. So yeah, it wasn't my most productive month, but I do feel like I spend a lot of time reading where I could. September was an incredibly busy month for me and hugely emotional, to the point that I ended up just sitting on the couch watching TV mindlessly for days every night. That's something that I don't do, so you could tell that I definitely needed some time out, and that is very much so reflected in how much reading I got done. However, over the month of September, my average was 4 stars, so very happy with the majority of my reads over September. I had a good time with quite a few of them. 2 books I can think of were absolute 5-star reads, both in my top 10 of the year so far, including one being the only book that's been able to top The Familiar off of the top spot of 2024 so far. And that book was Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. This is a debut fantasy novel, and I absolutely loved it. This author has totally won the game of the best promotion that I've ever seen for a book. I was very, very grateful to get the spoiler pack sent to me all the way from the UK, and I live in New Zealand, so I think that's a very, very special book package to receive. And whilst I didn't get to read the arc, I did get the opportunity to read the book with the book club that I belong to whatever end, and we absolutely devoured it, absolutely loved it. It was such a good book, and yeah, it topped The Familiar for me, which I didn't expect to have happen, but with the things that were happening in that book, the tropes, the vibes, it was pretty obvious that it was going to. So if you haven't heard of this book, I will leave a Goodreads link below so you can check it out and see if you want to add it to your TBR. If you like a lot of the books that I tend to typically gravitate towards, then you're definitely going to like this one. And then I also read Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poronek. I hope I'm saying that right. This is another beautifully woven story. It is a standalone, and it has Polish folklore in it. I think it was Polish. And it was absolutely fantastic. The way that book made me smile. I actually had a hard time choosing between Tales and Where the Dark Stands Still for that top spot, but obviously when I realised that Tales had knocked The Familiar off the top bracket, then I kind of figured that that would be the one to choose. But it was a fantastic book, and if you love Howl's Moving Castle, pick up both of these books actually, because they both have similar vibes between the banter and the characters together. Completely different stories, but loved them both all the same, and one's an adult fantasy and one's a YA, so that might temper your mood depending on what you like to read, but overall had a fabulous time with both those books. Unfortunately, I didn't have a good time with one of the books that I was really looking forward to, and unfortunately it was also down to marketing. This book was marketed as the next Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, but make it sapphic, and you'll know if you followed me long enough that I absolutely love Emily Wilde, the series. It is imprinted on my soul, and yeah, it was really unfortunate that I did not enjoy this one at all. It did not have the vibes whatsoever, so I felt very let down, and I think that did make the rest of the read feel a little bit meh for me. I have seen a lot of people enjoy it, and I'm glad that they did, but it wasn't for me, unfortunately. But I think it's really good that if my lowest read of the month was 3 stars, not anything lower, I think I always call that a good month. So we're almost through most of the stats being filled in on this page. Like I mentioned, there is a lot to get through in this video, and I'm not going to go into great depths about everything that I did in September. I will say that I got 7 new books. I just don't remember the last 2. So we left the spot open for the last 2 on the left side of the page. Hopefully I'll remember what they are. It's a really bad habit of mine sometimes to not write down what the new books are, and then I have to go through my digital tracking system and figure out what I haven't logged. So it always makes it a little bit of an issue to fill in this page if I don't have it up to date, but this is what we can do for now. I did DNF a book as well. It's quite a well-known romance novel, but I think I'm just past the college sports romance novels now, so whilst I can still read YA fantasy without an issue, and even some YA romance, I just didn't find this adult yet set in a college system book very good at all. And I only read novels over the month of September, which was really good. I do want to try and get some graphic novels done over the next couple of months, so it'll be interesting to see if I can get that done. And I am behind in a lot of readathon stuff, but I'm hopeful that I will catch up. Like I mentioned, it's been really rough recently, so trying to do everything and remember everything has been a little bit of a stress for me, but we'll get there. And that is what this whole video is about, because once we're finished filling in that last stat point, we now have a whole big blank space to fill in. So I did end up putting 2 quotes from the book that this is based on. So if you didn't see the September setup, we went to Kiata, which is the kingdom where Six Crimson Cranes is set, and this is a book by Elizabeth Lim. It's a Chinese, East Asian folklore and mythology type read. Really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad that we got to do this theme in the journal for September. So I didn't have any pictures left over from when I printed them all out, so I decided to just put a couple of quotes to fill the gap. It's not my best work, but I didn't want to leave this spot empty because I knew that if I did, I would not come back and fill it in. You might have seen that there's a big gap at the bottom of August as well, so I might have to go in and fill that in at some point too, but right now it's like completely off my radar. So we're now at the front of the book. I'm just going to fill in a little bit of the stats that I haven't done. This video is now going to become a little bit all over the place, not so much in this portion, but when we get into the reading data, I have to fill in from July. So I did a lot of work off camera to set up for this. But yeah, it was a bit of thinking process and having to check where I last documented from, which was June. And the reading data journal, whilst is very vital to me and I really enjoy having it, I can easily get behind in it if I don't use it. So I'm hopeful that I can keep on top of it from here out for the rest of the year, and also migrate the things that I'm going to use in my new reading data journal, which I'm very excited to start setting up on camera for you all, hopefully very soon. I just haven't yet got around to it. I'm trying to finish off some other things and also try and plan out what the the layouts are going to be and how I want to go about it. I want to really think about it first before I attach any pencil or pen to the pages in that book. But we're on the bookshelfy page right now, and I'm just filling in my reads for September. Again, I haven't really done any data work, and I did skip putting in those titles on camera for you all because you can't read it from this point of view. That white pen is not the greatest thing to read when you're not up close and personal, and I didn't think to zoom in and bring that closer to you all. We're now on the Days Read Pixel, and as you can see on the format side, I completely have given up at June, so I don't think that will be coming with us into the next year. I will hopefully be setting this up in a different way, like I mentioned, new journal, so for both 2025 pursuits, with being the actual reading journal and then the reading data journal, and this will stay. I actually don't know, maybe it will go swapping into the reading data. I'm in two minds. We'll have to see how that goes. I really do like this page though. I really like tracking the trends and seeing where I read the same amount of books on a particular day. And it's good to see some trends really forming now that we're into the last quarter of the year. And after this page, we're going to flip straight on through all the other challenges that I have in the front of this journal because I've done most of them off camera, and we're going to fill in the 2 monthly destinations for September and October. My October set up for the theme and everything is already up on the channel. I will link that in the description below, but we have gone to the Kingdom of Blunder, and that is what we're going to put in this next box here. And I always plan to put these in ahead of time if I can. Like I mentioned, I was behind in some areas of my life filling this in, so it's nice to be able to get that up to date there. Flipping over to the reading data journal, going to flip right past all these pages until we get to the series tracker. This is definitely something that's going to come over into the new journal, and I'm going to try and set it up in a similar but different way. That sounds a bit weird, I know, but I am liking using this a lot more than my original setup, which was just doing dots. I kind of want to go back to that, but also I do like how this works. When I can complete a series, I can colour in that bar, and I'm loving the different colour for each month. So I will be continuing on with a lot of the things that you see in this journal. The one thing I will not be using is a metallic pen, because we've all learnt that it's very difficult to see under the overhead lights. That pen is just so shiny when those lights hit it, and even I struggle to read it when the light is on it. So definitely going to go with a matte pen and fill it in very basic, so we can have just the colours of what the year are to really stand out on the page. So I mentioned that I was filling in the whole series tracker from July, so I did a lot of series completions over the last few months. I've also started just a small handful more, and I'm really hopeful that I will be able to stick with completing them in the next couple of years, as long as the books continue to come out. But also the ones that have more books in the series, a big goal of mine for 2025 will be to read more through each series rather than just starting one and then starting a new one. It does happen to be when I read a lot of arcs that I will be starting new series all the time, but the goal will be to try and limit how many are left for years on end still opened. Sorry. This is my own TBR page, and it has worked very well this year. I have enjoyed looking at it and seeing where I read particular books, because I use the same yearly colour scheme. However, I'm not sure if I will be carrying this over into my new journal, just because I have a digital system now. I'm still thinking on this one, but I will definitely be carrying over these glance pages because I really do like the visual aspect of it. but thankfully it'll be on nicer paper and we will no longer see the double-sided tape that's sticking the pages together. These 30 months, as you can see, had to be filled in completely, so I had to write them all in off camera, and now we're just dotting the star colour on the particular date and the book. So if you see me not do a dot in the calendar, but I do a colour dot in the particular book, it means that it finished on the same day as another book that had also finished that day. So I tend to use whatever was the first book finished as the dot colour to represent on that calendar date, if that makes sense. And this is where we're now at the last portion of this video, and I am very grateful that you have sat this far through with me as we update everything, get ready for October, and have everything for the last 3 months ready to go. I will also be filming my third quarter flip through of my reading journals for you all very, very soon. I'm super excited to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do every quarter. And until we next meet, I hope you have a lot of fun reading the books that you are, or journaling. I'm very grateful for participating in a readathon this month, so I will definitely have more books to share over the month of October, and maybe soon I'll be able to get back into doing my reading updates, because I really do miss sharing my point of view about the books that I'm reading and what I've enjoyed and not enjoyed. But until we next meet, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed seeing these wrap-up videos, and I will be back with a new video very soon, fingers crossed. Bye everyone!